For the barbell single leg deadlift, we're going to begin by setting up our barbell with the plates that we're going to be using. I highly recommend, if you don't already use warm-up sets, you're going to want to use lighter warm-up sets for this single leg deadlift using the barbell. Single leg deadlift is a quite advanced movement. If you consider yourself intermediate, you may be able to do it if you feel really comfortable with single leg movements. It is definitely a new challenge when it comes to the realm of deadlifting. A lot of the same principles are going to be applied, especially with how we set up our grips and our grip and our shoulders, our arms, our torso, and our hips. The main difference is going to be the legs and you getting used to how your weight is distributed with your feet. To set up, I'd recommend starting with your weakest or the least comfortable side leg first, so that you have more energy at the beginning of the set. I'm going to be using a double overhand grip like I do for my deadlift or like I do for my cleans. You can use a mix or alternate grip like you would for a deadlift. However, because there's already so much of a rotational or anti-rotational component of this movement, and you'll find out once you come up on one leg, your body's going to want to try to rotate. Having the arms also in an opposing position could lead to some more rotation that you're going to have to overcome. That's left up to you. If you just feel more comfortable with the alternate or mixed grip, feel free to do it. I'm going to do double overhand. Now when you're setting up for this, you're going to want to have your foot, your working foot or your working leg foot, centered on that barbell as opposed to being off to the side. Now, as you progress with this movement, you may find out that your body actually works better with that foot being a little outside or a little off of center. That's going to come with some practice and some experience with this movement. When you set up that foot, just like a regular deadlift, we're going to want to have that barbell directly over at the top of the center of the foot, lined up right here. I'm going to make sure that foot is flat. Then I'm going to bring my other leg, my other foot up off the ground. You have two choices here. You can either have that opposite leg or that free leg simply bent at the knee, or you can have that leg extended and the leg bending at the hip or extending at the hip. That's going to be up to you on how you produce your balance. From there, I'm going to bend at my hips and slightly at my knee. As I bend, you'll see that that shin comes closer and closer to that barbell till it's almost touching. Then I'm going to set up my grip. My grip is going to be the same that I set up for a deadlift. For me, it's about an inch past where the smooth meets the knurling. That's what I'm going to grab. I'm going to wrap my thumb and fingers around. Once I've established my grip, I'm going to take the slack out of that bar. And as I have my grip, I'm going to bend that barbell backwards, externally rotating my shoulders into my upper back, screwing them into my back so that now I have this nice neutral posture, and now my hands and my arms have become part of my upper back and my torso, and we're all working as a single unit. Roll this guy back here. So set up the foot, bend at the hip. For me, I like to have that leg extended, set up my grip, screw my shoulders into my upper back, taking my belly breath, extend the knees and hips, or the knee and hip rather, until you're fully extended. Lower it back down to the ground, keeping that barbell nice and close to your body. And drive through that leg. Once you're done, go ahead and release, and then switch feet. Same thing. Line up that foot approximately the center of the barbell. Line up that barbell over top as you look at it over the center of that foot. The foot is flat. I'm going to extend that leg back, bend at the hip and knee. Set up my grip, thumb and fingers wrapped around, belly breath. Extend the knee and hip. Sometimes you may have to touch down with that back toe just to reset yourself. Keeping that barbell in nice and close, lower it under control. Make sure you keep your spine neutral and aligned the whole time, bending at the hip. Again, once you get to this extreme bottom position, your body may want to rotate to one side depending on where you may have some tightness in your hips, or if you have any instability in your ankles or your knees, your body's going to try to make up for that. Be in control when you're doing this exercise. Sometimes when people set up for deadlifts, and they're very used to the double leg deadlift, they can go in there, they can set up real quick, boom, and get right into it. With this one, you're going to want to take some time. As you gain experience with it, you will be able to set up pretty easily, bend at the knee and hip, grab, belly breath, extend, come back down, and reproduce that movement with ease. The back leg, you're going to have to find what works for you. Again, either straight leg or slightly bent to the knee. I tend to go back and forth depending on how I'm feeling that day and what gives me the most control and the most balance. Make sure you do the same number of reps on each side. That's how you do a barbell single leg deadlift.